When you need to make your next equipment purchase, join more than 100,000 others who have registered to bid at purplewave.com. These bidders trust us to represent thousands of pieces of ag equipment, construction equipment, and vehicles each month with no reserves and no gimmicks. Simply visit purplewave.com to get started and experience the convenience of bidding anytime from anywhere with a company you can trust. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
We are on the road in Lincoln at Water Street Edge event, talking now with Arlan Suderman, who is Senior Market Analyst with the Water Street. And Arlan, as we look, producers always looking for an edge, and when we talk to you, that means trying to find an edge in the volatility of these commodity markets.
Well, absolutely, and it's been rather frustrating for many farmers, and certainly demand is not a problem, and they see that, and they think, why are prices so low? But we've just done such a good job of producing this year that supply has overwhelmed demand. The question is how long will that last? Is this the beginning of something long-term? And frankly, when we look at the weather in South America, it looks like we're going to add to those supplies. There's always questions about the Midwest next year, which we don't know yet, and there's no real dominant feature driving the weather market, so there's some uncertainty there, but right now it looks like supplies are going to keep increasing near term.
Well, as we look towards next season, we all know where the current prices are, and we all know where we'd like the prices to go. There's a lot of factors, and some folks subscribe to the philosophy, don't forget about the fundamentals. There's a lot of other talk. We have farm implementation and some plans, and there's a lot of other chatter, if you will. So I guess let's look at it that way. Let's talk about that. Fundamentals still is the main driver?
Oh, it is. We still have a strong demand for protein into East Asia and specifically China, and we've seen that this year. Soybean shipments to date for the marketing year are 24% above year-ago levels, exceeding those projections that USDA had, fitting pretty close to where we expected them. We also saw very strong soy meal demand this year following the default in Argentina. Many customers coming here. We're working our way through now and filling many of those orders. So we see some light at the end of the tunnel as far as our livestock producers and in easing of that supply situation. Particularly as we get to February and beyond, we should see the protein market start to soften. And I think the soybean market and the corn market will probably both respond then to the larger supplies of South America.
We continue to see oil prices fall, which, as we look at commercial prices for gasoline, that's helping everybody. But talk about, with the reduced oil price, what kind of effect, because we're in a place we haven't been for quite a while.
Yeah, we really are. When you look at the gasoline market, every 10 cents that the gasoline price goes down nationally, it adds about $11 billion to the economy, like a big tax cut. So that stimulates the economy. People want to drive more, but our vehicles are more efficient now. So you say, okay, they're going to drive more, so they consume more ethanol. There's two problems with that, and I mentioned our vehicles are more efficient, so it's not a direct relationship increase in gasoline consumption. But the other thing is ethanol's been too high priced. There have been some markets where E85 was 20 cents higher than unleaded right next to it. That's not very sustainable, and I'm really concerned that once we get past the first of the year, we're going to see a significant drop-off in domestic ethanol demand that could leave us hanging with big supplies here and start dropping off demand for corn to produce that ethanol.
Well, you talk about corn demand, and a lot of that corn is going into cattle. We are wrapping up 2014 as a record year. What's your outlook for the proteins?
Well, as we look at the meat complex, certainly it's going to take us a number of years, maybe 2022 or 2023, in order to get the beef herd rebuilt. The question is, how much demand will we have lost and have to try to buy back at that point? The pork industry seems to be finding a way now with some of the tools they have to manage the PED virus threat and expand and start filling some of that. So with cheaper pork prices, it makes it easier to steal away some of that beef demand. They're a little better positioned to do that, but that also means lower prices. So we've had some good profits in the beef industry. That's probably going to slowly wither away. The pork industry has some opportunities to recover with cheap feed prices.
All right, so as we look at 2015, let's look at that outlook. Or what are the things to look forward or look at? China, other emerging issues?
Well, China remains a big driver in the market, and one of the concerns that I have going forward is Europe's on the verge of recession once again. A number of reasons for that, but they're on the verge of recession. Europe is the #1 customer of Chinese exports. So as Europe goes, so goes China, and there's economic data in recent days that really show the problems in China. So if China slips, then that starts affecting their economy and their demand for commodities. The one thing that they fear more than anything else is social unrest, and so the top priority will be food. But at the same time, if the consumers don't have money for that meat, then they don't need as much protein and don't need as many feed grains. So we really need to keep our eye on China. The other thing going forward is just what's going to be the health of the global economy and the strong dollar. U.S. economy is not that great. But as my coworker says, it may be the prettiest horse in the glue factory. And so global investors want the dollar, look at possible higher interest rates in 2015. And a strong dollar is particularly difficult for wheat and the meat exports. And so that would be a concern.
All right, Arlan, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Arlan Suderman, Senior Market Analyst for Water Street. In Lincoln, for Agview, I'm Ken Rogers.